the United States or China. The problem is that the viewpoints of the three parties they're diverging, not converging. In the United States, you have greater concern for Chinese coercive military pressure on Taiwan and the potential that the Chinese leadership could make a decision to use force. In Beijing, you see enhanced U.S. support to Taiwan as worrying, and you see Taiwan drifting to what it worries would be indefinite separation. And in Taiwan, see the one country, two systems formula with regard to Hong Kong and the national security law there as not as appealing now. And so the situation is intensifying. I think in the immediate, what needs to happen is we need to reestablish dialogue channels, in particular between the United States and China. Those have come down in the aftermath. The Chinese pulled those down.
They're not eye to eye on any of those issues, right, related to Taiwan. China has come out with a strong warning saying the U.S. needs to be careful with this one.
So the interesting thing is you have a classic security dilemma or an action-reaction cycle. One side takes a step, and they point to the other side as taking actions that have justified their step. And so we're in a bit of a blame game, which in fact is why you need more dialogue, not less. The Chinese have pulled down the dialogue in the aftermath of Pelosi's visit. I would argue, frankly, you've got to open it up. We also have to avoid, I think, a public negotiation on this issue. Because when you put things out in the public and you point to the other side and you criticize and blame, actually it only works to dig in that side even further. This has to happen at the highest level between political leaders, and it has to happen in quiet-to-street channels. President Biden may meet President Xi on the margins of the G20 in Indonesia and at Bali. That would be a good start. They're not going to solve everything, but I think they need...
What do you expect from that meeting?
Well, I think at a minimum, they need to have a conversation and get a sense of what steps each side is taking that's causing the other side the greatest concern. 50 years ago, Tanvir, this issue was as delicate as it is today, but there was a series of political understandings that were reached between President Nixon and then Chinese leader Mao Zedong that has managed this very difficult, delicate issue over a 50-year period, and we've avoided conflict. We need to get back to political understandings between those leaders so that we can continue this issue going forward. Again, there's no military solution.
Right.
There's a diplomatic solution.